I had the biggest card show that I do on a yearly basis just this past weekend. As a matter of fact, I do it twice a year. But it started off just being a once a year thing, and now it's twice a year because it comes again in September. It's a 4-day show, huge event, 600 plus tables. I'm in the side room. There's a great big huge room off to one side, smaller room off to the other. I would say that there are 400 tables in the main room, 200 tables in the side room. As always, with every show that I do, I learn something new, I make mistakes, and I learn from what those mistakes are. Mistakes aren't the only thing that go on, obviously. A ton of deals go on, and I love doing card shows. In-person card shows are the best. You get to interact with the people you're selling to. You're selling to collectors, flippers too, but that's okay. And there is a lot of money moving through there. I hate to imagine the amount of money that moved through that 4-day show. It was a 4-day show in Minnesota, in St. Paul, the Twin Cities, and there were so many people that went through there. Just tons and tons of people. I spoke to a guy that was in the main room, had a big booth, I would say probably 4 tables, just packed full of cards. And I went and talked to him the next day as I was making my rounds, just walking around when it was slower in the morning. And I talked to him, and he said the first day he did $300,000 in one day. And that was the slowest day of the entire show. I can't imagine how much money he moved through in the 4 days. I personally sold a third of what I took with me. Actually, it was 40%, 42% to be exact. I sold 42% of the inventory that I took with me, which is incredible. You can move so much inventory in-person card shows. That is the thing that I love about it. Now, I had to travel. I spent 4 hours one way to get there. I had to get a hotel. We had to eat, and we took it pretty simple. It was my wife and I, the two of us did this. And basically the cost to set up at the show was about $1,500, roughly speaking, all in. It's like $280 for the table, roughly. I had gas and a rental. I rented a car because our cars are junk and I wasn't going to drive our car up there. So anyways, I had a rental on top of it. Hotel room, food, and then a little bit of spending money on top of it. So that is one thing you got to think about when you're doing card shows. But the amount of money the amount of inventory that I move through more than makes up for it. I figured it out between the two of us. I did the math, and with my profit margin and everything that I had going on, the two of us made $45 an hour for the hours that we worked there. It was 48 hours of work, 12 hours per day. That's including drive time. But when it's all said and done and I'm making $45 an hour, I am very happy with that. I make $30 an hour at my full-time W-2 job, and the side business is starting to generate an income that is going to surpass what I'm doing with my W-2 job. And that is the goal. That's exactly what I want to do. It makes me very happy. I'm so excited to make this happen, and I'm striving very hard to do it. So when I see the numbers, when I put the pen to paper and I start seeing it working out, it just makes me want to do it even more. It pushes me even more. The opportunities that arise at card shows are vast. You're able to pick up a ton more inventory. You're able to move more inventory, and it just continues to churn and snowball and add so much value to my business personally. Originally, I started off doing eBay sales. That was the main source of income that I was doing for my trading card company, trading card business. And then it slowly churned into doing card shows. And card shows have been my bread and butter lately. And they're just so much fun, man. And you're able to pick up some sweet inventory, some stuff that I picked up for myself on the side as well. these 4-day shows, you're working 48 hours in 4 days. You're working 4 12-hour days. So it is a lot of work, and there's preparation to set up at the shows before that. I mean, I was spending a week or two prepping for this show as well. So that all has to factor into it as well. I'm here to tell you that it's all worth it if you want to do trading cards full time. You need to be doing trading card shows. I'm going to pick through some of my favorite pickups and show you guys what I picked up, and give you a little lesson too that I learned, because I always pick up something new at a card show. So something that I made a mistake that I'll explain, and maybe that's the first thing I'll show you. All right, so I am going to explain my big mistake. My big mistake was allowing somebody else to comp the cards out and just going with what they said. Now, there's a little bit of background to that. I use Card Ladder myself to comp out my cards as well. So, but when you're at a card show, there's just so much action going on that I'm pulled in 6 different ways, even when I have my wife helping me. The mistake I had was allowing him to pull up his comps, and the comps were on these cards right here. All of these cards, well, all 4 of these cards were comped by him. Now, these are retail parallels. I knew that. I knew they were green velocities. So he comped these out. He showed me exactly the comps that he was pulling up. I went with it, paid the guy, away he went. Well, I started going through it, and I'm like, man, God, that was a high price for those green velocities. So I went through and I double-checked my numbers. And I pulled these up, and I paid double what they were worth. Well, come to find out, the guy was pricing them as teal velocities. So that's the thing that bugs me the most about sports cards, is the fact that there are so many different parallels, and some of them are short prints, some of them aren't, and you have no idea, unless you're doing it, what's going on with them. So these are not teal parallels. These are green parallels, which are worth half the cost. Long story short, I lost on it. Well, I swallowed my pride and just moved on. And while the kid came back around, he says, hey, you want to buy some more stuff? Now, I don't know if he was pulling a fast one on me and he thought he had a sucker or what, but I'm like, hey, man, I am glad that I caught you. And I explained to him that I paid double what I should have paid. I said, now in a perfect world, I'd love to get my money back, but we shook on it, and I'm a man of my word, so I'm not going to push too hard on you. But if you want to give me my money back, I'll give you your cards back. Well, he didn't want to do that, but he gave me $50. So I still ended up losing. He gave me a little bit. It worked out in the end. I'm going to take a bath on these cards, but it's lessons learned, and now I know even when a customer is comping the cards out themselves, I need to pull up the comps as well and compare, even if we're using the same app. Also, this Rico Dowdle, this I paid exactly what I should have on this, but this is a really cool card. All right, so they're not all losses. Now, there are tons of wins. Now, I did tons of pickups. I did tons of sales. A lot of these pickups I'm going to show you are just what I have left over from the show. A lot of the stuff I picked up, about 50% of it, I moved through at the show, which is one benefit of being able to do shows, is like even when you're bringing stuff in and you're moving stuff, you can fill the showcase back up with stuff that you're picking up as you're going. So I picked up a ton of sports. It was less of a Pokemon show for me personally. I sold less Pokemon than I normally do. I picked up a little less than I normally do. But we'll show a little bit of Pokemon here just to get things rolling. And I picked up, these are gradable cards. That's another benefit of doing card shows in person, is you can see the cards in your hand. As I'm going through and pricing everything out, I'm able to pull them out the sleeve. If I think they're close to being gradable, I'll put them off to the side and check them out when I get back home. And these are the ones that pass the test. So all of these cards will be going in to PSA or tag. I'm yet to make up my mind what I want to do with them. If I want to be without them for 4 to 5 months. With PSA, This is a sweet card. A couple of really nice cards coming here. I don't know if I'm going to send them to tag and take a little less profit and keep the money moving, or and then I have one sports card here that's gradable as well. Kaleidoscope case hit. I'm not exactly sure whether I'm going to send a tag and keep the money churning. Maybe, because things are selling slow. I actually took some tag cards with me and didn't move as nearly as many as I would like to. PSA cards are just so much more liquid, and I'm learning that. I knew that, but tag is just not that liquid at card shows, and I think I'm going to have to figure out a way to sell them online. I sell on eBay, so that's probably the best way. But I need to make sure my margins are there so that I can sell it on eBay and still make $1, you know. All right, let's move away from some Pokemon. Let's show a little bit of sports. I'll show you a couple of things. Some of these will have stickers. Numbered Shadur. Nice little Giannis here, buy low opportunity. I got a lot of buy low opportunities. Yeah, so some Cooper Flag, numbered Jokic. This is a sweet card, Black Pandora. Wemby, cheap card here. I picked up a ton of cheap cards. This is just some of these cheaper cards are going to be going into my showcase, because I like to have cheaper cards in my showcase as well. But I'm willing to pick up large lower end lots too, and I've got a huge stack set off to the side here that will end up on my eBay inventory. That's what I typically do, is I sell my low end eBay stuff, or I sell my low end sports on eBay, low end Pokemon as well for that matter. But my low end stuff usually goes in there, and I just keep the higher end stuff for my showcases at the shows. All right, let's pop back into some Pokemon here. Just a few of the bigger pickups. I picked up some low end stuff as well, but this is a sweet card. That Palkia. I don't really pick up a whole lot of vintage, but this is in pretty good shape. I think a $50 card for vintage is pretty big for me. But anyways, here's a big lot of Charizards. This was a full, complete lot that I picked up. I got 2 of these Obsidian Flames in one lot, one buy. So I love picking up Charizards. Oh, there's another one. And yeah, so all this stuff comes across the table. I'm able to price it. I shoot them an offer. If they're willing to take it, they take it. Sometimes they negotiate. Sometimes they don't want to negotiate. They say, no, too low. And I'm like, okay, no problem. And they move on. All right, let's talk about a couple of risks that I take on this pickup video. I don't normally do this, but I did some prospecting. This is a tough one that I picked up. I call this prospecting, but it's not really, because he played well last year. But I picked up a gold patch of Tyler Shuck, however you say his name. There are no sales on this, so I took a little bit of a risk. I priced out everything. Some gold patches that sold recently. I paid $300 for this. I might have paid the actual retail price. I don't know. It's tough to say. But his other patches, gold patches, are selling for $300 roughly speaking, and this is an optic, so I'm hoping it's worth a little bit more. I'm probably going to price it at $450, $500 and hope to pull 350, you know, make $50 here maybe, or take a loss. Who knows, man. I'll try to put this in my showcase at shows, and if it doesn't sell, I'll end up putting it on eBay before the season starts and move through it. Another thing that I don't normally do is prospect with guys that are going into the draft. So I picked up a Caleb Downs, which actually I'm hoping the Dolphins take him. That's my team, and that's who I want them to take. But we'll see. Anyways, color match auto, and I'm hoping that his prices go up a little bit. He's a top 10 pick, and yeah, we'll get a little bump. I don't normally do that, but I gave it a shot. And I did the same thing with Ty Simpson. He should be the second quarterback picked, and I'm hoping that the new team that he goes to, the fans want to collect his stuff, and I've got an auto, so we'll see. Picked up some Shedeur Sanders. I'm not a huge fan, but I'm hoping that this is stuff that I can move before the season starts. That's typically what I like to do, is with these prospect quarterbacks, I pick up their autos and short prints and stuff and try to move them before the season even starts. Don't hold it into the season just in case they get hurt or they don't play well. I picked up a ton of golds as well. That's a big thing that I like to pick up. People love their golds. Personally, I love golds as well. The guy that I just couldn't quit was JJ McCarthy. So I had this show up in Minnesota. I bought some JJs going into it, hoping that I could sell them up there. And I kept buying while I was up there, thinking that I'd put it in the showcase and it would move. Well, I just kept buying and buying and buying. And I ended up not selling much. Well, I take that back. I've only got 3 left. So I guess I moved through more of them than I thought. One really cool thing about it was I got to sell to a kid. I sold an under $100. It was like an $80 auto that I sold to a kid. He bought it for $70. I gave him a deal. And he was so happy that he was able to pick up a card under in his budget. And it was an auto, or it wasn't on card, it was select. But he got to pick it up. And he was very, very excited about it. I picked up more JJ. This will be going into my showcase, continuing, and hopefully moving it before the season. I think he's young. He's going to have a shot again. I personally think he'll be starting by the end of the season, so we'll see. And I picked up a Kaboom. So case hits. Anytime I get a chance to pick up case hits at a reasonable price, I like to personally usually buy between 70 and 80%, but on case hits I pay stronger. I believe I paid 85%, so that's still a pretty good deal on case hits. Hopefully move it at 90% and make my 5%. Here's another case hit that I got a pretty good deal on. Averaged the last 2 sales. This was the last sale, so I'm hoping that maybe I can make a little bit of money there. And I got a ton more here. Like I said, there was stuff that moved at the show too, but we'll end it with a couple of more golds. So this one, Doug Baldwin, you know, he's not a big name by any means, but I'm assuming some Seahawks fan will like a gold auto, or excuse me, a gold card out of 10. And we also got this really cool Justin Jefferson gold out of 10, the Crusades. I love the Crusades. And this is sweet. I priced this high because it is only pop 2. And I can't remember. I don't think there's any sales on it. So I priced it around what I thought the rest of his golds go for, around $300. It didn't move at the show. I thought maybe it would, but it didn't. So that's okay. I might have priced it high. I can always move the price down. All right. Like I said, there were so many more other pickups and the stuff that moved at the show. But I'm going to end it there. This guy kind of gone into a longer video. But so much that I've learned from that experience, and I continue to go do these big shows, and I learn something new every single time. And if you're open to learning and making mistakes, then you're going to continue to grow, and you just can keep this snowball churning day over day and make this business happen. All right, guys. That is going to do it. I appreciate you checking out my video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.